to the TENDO Show. Today we're going to talk about the Justice League, and we're going to celebrate 10,000 subs. Look, happy birthday. Happy birthday. Don't know what that has to do with 10,000 subs, but stick around. It's going to be fun.
What's up, Trash Pandas? Welcome back for another live show. Let me tell you what we're going to get into today. This is a confetti cannon, and we may or may not be shooting this at my face. It's okay, because I brought protection, so all is going to be well. Also, we got the special drink, so we'll open this up here in a minute and take a drink. But first, let's tell me who's here.
Oh my gosh, everybody's here.
We're starting out with 100 viewers, so everyone stop by. Thanks for stopping by. Do me a favor before we even get started. Hit the like button. If somehow you're watching this already and you haven't subscribed, A, how did you do it? B, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Then call your mother. Tell her to subscribe. If you're on good terms with your dad, call him too.
Grandma.
Aunt,
uncle.
Also, before we get started, do me another huge favor. There's a link right below this video to another channel, and this is not another YouTube channel that you really should consider another one of our YouTube channels, but it's a channel where clips from this show are going to live, so that if people search Tendo and Hannah in certain ways, these clips might come up as little bite-sized chunks of, you know, little tidbits we do in the show, also things that we talk about. So go subscribe to that channel. Link is in the video's description, and it's also pinned at the top of the comments, so go check that out. Hannah, who's here?
All right, we've got Trubbish, we've got The Lonely Leaf, we've got Perm, we got Betty in India, Archibabble, that's a nice username.
Good one.
Smiley Bead. Wow, all right, welcome.
Well, thanks everyone for coming. What we're gonna do today is we're gonna talk about a couple topics, and then towards the end of the video, we'll both do a little bit of Q&A. If you got any questions, save them for then. Also, right at the end, Hannah will shoot me in the face-ish. I don't know if we're gonna be able to shoot me in the face. I was gonna title this video, Celebrate 10,000 subs by shooting myself in the face with a confetti cannon, but it has to be held like perfectly vertical, you said?
It does. I don't know how vertical we can get
So
away with.
It'll be like that. But let's toast. Do you just rip this off? Or do I need a special tool?
I think it's a screw cap. Oh no, it's a pop top.
No, I don't know. I've got scissors. Here.
Figure it out. Speaking of shooting things in the, oh my gosh.
Is this not appropriate? Okay, probably not.
Speaking of shooting you in the face with things,
yeah.
Someone has asked about the stun gun.
The stun gun. Well, if you don't know what that's about, I'm going to get this open. If I have to tear up my good suit to do it.
You got a suit malfunction. I got it though.
If you haven't been watching the channel for too long, you might recall a video where we went to a flea market, and I said if we get 400 likes, then Hannah will tase me. But I also said I'm not going to just order some taser off the internet to do this with. Next time we're at a flea market, next time we're at a place that sells tasers, I guess Hannah's going to get to tase me. Go grab the bottle opener.
I will. I was going to say, I know which bottle opener I need to get.
Never mind. Never mind. I got it.
I just need to delete for a second.
You ever used a tiny pair of scissors to open a fancy drink? All right. How much do you want?
A better question is, have you ever used a pair of tiny scissors like those? Those are special.
They're good scissors.
Give me all of it. You
well,
just
there you
take
go.
that, I'll take the bottle.
Yep. No, I'll take the bottle.
We should have got 2 bottles.
Well, if you're wondering before we get into things, it's just sparkling cider, but I'm super into it.
It's all this space right now.
You're going to hear, this is going to be a funny sentence. I just spilled sparkling cider on my fanny pack. But also, for those of you who might care what button I'm rocking today, Boomhauer, baby.
Boomhauer.
Boomhauer. Boomhauer with a banjo.
Araya says, say hi to Jeff and Tara. Hi, Araya. How are you? They,
Glad you guys made it home safe.
Yeah,
those guys came out for a visit last week. All right, so I want to talk about a couple of things before we get too serious today. You guys comment below and let me know if you've watched Justice League. And if you did watch it, what you thought about it. I watched it all in one sitting. Well, that's not true. I got up to go pee. But I watched it without pausing it. Like, I watched it all the way through, and I've set up something nice and special for our talk about Justice League. I absolutely hated the fact that it was in 4:3.
It was really annoying.
Listen, I'm not trying to brag, but I got a really big TV. Not the biggest TV, right? It's not like 85 inches like some friends of mine have, but I got like a 70-inch TV, and it's nice. It's a really nice TV. And I turned on Justice League, very excited to see this, and it's in this aspect ratio. It looks like this. Your TV looks like this. The movie looked like this. And I don't have anything queued up to show you what the movie should have looked like, but basically take those black bars from right there and put them on the top and bottom. That's what it should have looked like. And I read an interview. I didn't even tell you this. I read an interview that said that the director was like, "Oh, it was a creative decision. We were going to put it on IMAX." Now, this is the shape that IMAX is, but I was like, it was a money thing.
Okay.
He had it edited this way, ready to go into IMAX theater, and then he chopped it up, and they didn't have the money to spend the money to chop it all up again to put it in the format for your TV or for widescreen. So that was.
I mean, I guess that makes sense. I'm not too mad about it. I would have liked to see it in IMAX. That'd have been cool.
Yeah.
It would have been worth it then.
Well, sure, and I bet when things are kind of back to normal, maybe we'll get the chance to do that. But then again, will we? Because are they gonna actually play 4-hour movies? I mean, not that has never happened.
That's true. I think the longest movie I saw in theaters was Return of the King, Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I mean, that was a long one. Well, listen, if you don't have any idea what we're talking about, what happened was, and this is the simplest retelling. I'm obviously going to leave out some important details here, but one person wrote and shot and directed a Justice League movie, and then basically his daughter died, and through a bunch of series of quite unfortunate events, he was pushed out of the project and or left because of his daughter's death. Real sad, real tough. No criticisms for that whatsoever. But someone else took over the movie and basically reshot 90% of it, used about 10% of the guy's footage. But the crazy part about all that is that this guy had already shot a whole 4-hour movie. And they ended up releasing this other version, and we thought we were never going to see this 4-hour version. And all of a sudden, because of the streaming service that HBO has, they were like, well, let's just drop it on HBO. And they did. They dropped it all at once. And thus far, the reviews for the movie are 1,000,000% better than the other ones. So if you just take the reality of that happened, you already have such a large conversation for such an unprecedented thing. There's a long history in Hollywood of films being canned and taken over by someone else. You may or may not remember the Solo movie was shot. I don't remember their names. Maybe somebody can comment it below. But they were the guys that shot the 21 Jump Street movies.
Oh, okay.
They're two dudes, and they're known for just like the best comedy ever. And so they hired them to make Solo, and then they were like, you guys aren't making a Star Wars movie. You're making a comedy movie. You're fired. And they got Ron Howard to finish it. And now we have no idea what the footage from those first guys looked like. But Solo kind of bombed. I mean, it didn't bomb, but it didn't do as well as they needed. And it wasn't really super great. I mean, it wasn't super memorable. I liked it enough. But, there was not enough outrage that Disney was like, well, we'll just put the original cut online. But that happened with this Justice League movie. So if you've been walking around the world and in your peripheral hearing people talking about Justice League, that's the gist of what happened. Has anybody had anything to say about it?
Someone said, Kristen's Nostalgia Toys said, decided it was worth the investment for HBO Max. It was well worth it. They had a lot of great shows and movies. So
Agreed.
A lot of people just got HBO Max, us included.
Yes, well, that was kind of the other thing. And that's why I made the joke about the 4:3 aspect ratio, is that we downloaded it. I downloaded it on the way home. Or I signed up for it, rather. I didn't download anything. I got home, got on my PlayStation 4, downloaded the HBO Max app. We sat down with our dinner. I think we got
Panda Express.
Panda Express
Yes.
to watch with our Justice League. And I turned it on, TV looking like this, mind you, and I got this. And I immediately paused it on the first frame and stood there for 15 minutes while my food got cold, looking at the settings on HBO, because I thought for some reason my PlayStation 4 and or HBO or some combination thereof was messing with my TV. It was like, I'm going to play this all, because like every time you download a new streaming service, you got to figure out how to turn the subtitles on and off. You got to figure out how to do these things. I thought my TV was messing up, but no. This is how they shot. This is how the movie was, like this.
So frustrating.
That's the only reason I'm complaining about it, because it just threw me for a loop. It really wasn't that bad. 10 minutes into the movie, and it didn't look any different than this. But we did the same. We downloaded HBO just to watch Justice League. And we did. But I'm kind of thankful for it, because there is a lot of other good stuff that's on there. We immediately binge watched Chernobyl.
Which, oh my gosh.
We both liked a lot, but it was heavy.
It was. I want to watch it again now that I've seen the ending of it, so that I can rewatch the bit where all the things went wrong. And then, like, figure out, like, who's lying, what's actually going on here.
It is a really dark one. So if you downloaded HBO or paid for HBO just to watch yourself some Justice League, try to give Chernobyl a shot. It's a historical retelling of what happened in Chernobyl, the explosion. And it's not a terribly long series. I mean, we binge watched most of it that night.
Yeah.
And like finished the next 2 episodes the next day. But we're gonna probably keep it for a couple months. Binge watch everything that's on HBO that has to be watched, and that's gonna be that.
Yeah. Someone said they didn't love the slow-mo in Justice League. How do you feel about that?
The slow-mo. I bet they're talking about the Jason Momoa water rushing over him stuff. That's probably what they're talking about. That it was cheesy, but it's like, it's not cheesy in the worst way. It's cheesy in a way where you've got to decide how you're going to suspend your own disbelief. Like, I can understand some people were into it, but I don't know. Like, it's always hard to talk about cheesiness, lack thereof, or too much of in comic books, because I mean, have you ever read a comic book? Like, none of that stuff doesn't exist in the comic books. But I don't know. Have them comment below. Comment below what slow-mo are you talking about specifically? Or were you talking about how the Flash ran in slow-mo when he was in super speed?
See, I was super used to that because we just binge watched the rest of the Flash series, and they used that a lot.
Right, which is a huge rabbit hole. We watched the whole TV's Arrowverse Flash show in like way too little time. We watched it straight through.
It was rough.
But overall, I liked it. But more so, I like the spectacle of what happened. You know, I like the idea that a lot of directors in the past have had their projects changed. As someone who's worked in a lot of video productions, a lot of movies, I have a huge history working on films. I really feel for some people that I know personally that have had their films changed, or you know, sometimes really lightly, just in really specific ways, like the studio says, oh no, you've got to take this actor out, put this actor in, and reshoot those scenes.
Yeah.
You know, but sometimes it's as drastic as, no, you're out of this project. We're going to reshoot it without you. Your film can go die on a hard drive somewhere. I love the fact that it came to light and that, you know, we got 2 movies out of it. Because, you know, the first one, I don't know, some of you guys can maybe tell me if you liked the original cut of the Justice League or not. I won't say I liked it or hated it, but I found it utterly unmemorable. I've watched it 3 times now since it came out, and I still don't. I could tell you 100% more about this newest cut. Of course, it's fresh on my mind, so maybe that makes sense, but I just can't tell you anything about the original cut. It was just bland.
Honestly, yeah, there was a few scenes in the new cut that I was like, oh yeah, I do remember this from the first one, but I didn't even remember like the storyline, like who was the villain and all that stuff. You had to keep filling me in, like, oh yeah, this is what happened in the first one. I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah, well, that was the other thing. I definitely am gonna have to watch it again, which kind of sucks because it's 4 hours long, and I only had 1 4-hour block to spare this week. But I need to go back and watch it again because the whole first watch, I was just in my head remembering how maybe that's some extra dialogue that wasn't in the original cut. But at any rate, I'll just cap off Justice League talk by saying I watched it. If you're on the fence about it, it's worth the weekly or monthly subscription. However, I was not aware that the monthly subscription was going to cost so much. We've not paid for a lot of subscriptions in our life. We, of course, got Disney Plus to watch all the Marvel stuff, which we can get into next because the next day, Falcon and Winter Soldier aired, which is, you know, back to back. It's tough. Too much emotion, you know what I'm saying? But it's worth it. But it is a lot of money. I thought all subscription services were like $10 or less. I'm clearly wrong about that. They're all like $15 to $20. But I think it's worth it. Watch it, and then we'll talk about it a little bit next week. Because this is spoiler free. We're not talking about it much. I'll probably say a little bit more about it on next week's live show.
Yeah.
Just because there's some other parts, plot-wise, that, you know, having been someone who's read comic books when I was a kid. I read comic books during the era that some of these stories come from. Batman's more based off Frank Miller's Batman. There's a lot there I'd like to talk about. We're not going to give you spoilers today, though, because we got plenty of other things to get into. But
Ooh, how do we get into a spoiler-free talk about Falcon and Winter Soldier?
I know exactly what I want to say. You should definitely watch Falcon and Winter Soldier. Comment below if you watched any of that. Tell us what you thought. Here's all I've got to say about Falcon and Winter Soldier. I was entirely distracted the whole time I was watching it. Do you know why?
Why?
Can you guess? I mean, I told you. I don't know if you remember.
No, I don't remember.
Sebastian Stan. I saw a meme a couple weeks ago that was joking about Sebastian Stan. He's the guy in all the Marvel movies with the metal arm that's kind of frenemies with Captain America. That's a very, very loose retelling of who he is. I saw a meme suggesting he looked just like Mark Hamill and that he should play Mark Hamill in the Mandalorian series. And
right, I remember this conversation.
And now that he's cut the weird long hair, well, spoilers, I guess, if you haven't seen the previews, he cuts his hair. His hair's gone. He looks just like him. Like, oh my God, why didn't we do this already? Why is he not now Luke Skywalker?
Well, you see, he's got that dark hair, and so it's
You
like
can say
it's
it. He's beautiful. Like
he's very beautiful.
I would
okay?
lick his face.
I watched him in Once Upon a Time when he was the Mad Hatter, and I was like, oh, hello. How are you?
I watched that when it first came out. I didn't know it was him. I just
yeah.
choked on sparkling cider.
Don't die.
It's good. He looks. You could definitely look at his face and go, all right, put some long, thin, brown hair on him. That's not like that emo cut he has.
Yeah.
For the whole run of the Marvel movies, he could definitely 100% be Luke Skywalker. And if they're not already planning on that, they've just messed up.
Yeah, I mean, I was like trying to picture him versus Luke Skywalker in like episode 4, and I guess because of the quality difference between watching TV shows and watching episode 4 is so different. I'm like,
yeah, maybe.
I can see it, but yeah, I think if he had some sandy blonde hair and like, blur the vision a little bit.
Did anybody watch it? I don't know. I don't know how excited people are. Like, we've got a big enough audience. I mean, there's like 250 people watching right now. I'm very interested to kind of know how excited for either or some of you guys are, because I really have no idea where you guys' tastes land. Honestly, the only way that I ever know what some of you like is we do have a public Discord, which there's a link in the description of this video for as well. And on the Discord, there is a what are you watching or playing section where we chat about what people are watching and or playing video game-wise. And sometimes, of course, as soon as that went live, people were posting pictures. I think someone on our Discord, as soon as they turned it on and it looked like this, they converted the HDMI signal out of their TV box into their CRT and watched it on their CRT.
That'd have been so good.
Yeah, which, I kind of giggled about it and thought about it, but I was like, I'm not going to get up and get all those cables out and do that. But it's just so goofy. I mean, it's what a waste of my TV screen space. I watched movies like this in 1995. We don't have, listen, it is cool to get your VCR out and put your old VCR tapes on your CRT and watch them like this. It's such a nostalgic way to watch them, but we don't need to go backwards.
No, we don't.
That's all I'm saying. Did anybody watch it?
A lot of people did watch it and are very bummed that there was only one episode to watch.
That is frustrating, because didn't they did 2 with WandaVision up front, didn't they?
Yeah.
I forgot about that. I was bummed that there was only one as well, especially since we just took a week off without a new Marvel show. I will say this, though. I think my biggest praise for it isn't even about the show. The show is going to be fine. They've got their Marvel characters figured out. I'm excited about the prospect of having a new hour of Marvel once a week for the rest of forever, because that looks like the way it's going. Because as soon as this is over, I forget exactly what's next, if it's Loki. I think maybe there's something in between, but they've got a Loki show. They've got a 10 Rings show.
I'm excited for the Loki show. I'm a big fan of the Loki character, and I think the thing that is getting me feeling like it's starting a bit slow, or like I'm not super into it yet, is that I don't have that investment into the character of Falcon or Winter Soldier.
That's true.
It's just not punching it for me yet. I want it to, don't get me wrong.
Right. Well, the problem with previous Marvel TV shows before all this was that they had to separate it. They would tell little jokes and go, hee hee, the big green guy, and not say Hulk, you know what I mean? Or just
Right.
weird stuff like that on the TV shows. And of course, the budgets are lower, so that is a bit problematic. That, you know, you're watching a Marvel movie that costs $500 million, and you go home to watch it on, you know, watch the Marvel TV shows, and they made an episode for $100,000. This introduces a problem where you just can't suspend your disbelief enough to watch that Marvel show with all that other Marvel movie stuff in your head. So obviously they figured that out. Nobody watched WandaVision and said, this is not the Marvel universe I know. Mostly because it didn't look like this.
Yeah.
It looked more like this. But it's good enough that they're going to keep going with it and keep that quality up. So that makes me really happy, because I did, before WandaVision ever came out, I spent an entire month with all our TV consumption just being rewatching everything Marvel.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it, not just because I like Marvel comic book stuff, but I enjoyed it mostly because there was so much to dive into. There was such a huge universe and all these films. I think I'm going to enjoy these shows even better 10 years from now when I go back and binge watch it all. I think that's my biggest takeaway from now that we're on to a second Marvel series. I'm really feeling that. I'm glad there's more. What do you got, Hannah?
Well, Commander Grevin, thanks for the dono.
Oh,
So
Tim
agreed
Bones,
that
more fancy drink.
He agreed, he really loved it, but he says that 40 minutes goes by so fast.
Yeah.
Did you feel that way about it?
Well, yeah, especially since we watched it right after watching 4 hours of Justice League. That 40 minutes felt quick. We went to some friend's house last night, and we rewatched it with them. It was their first time, and we rewatched it. And I will say, as most Marvel things, you can say this about most Marvel things, it's way better on the rewatch. So just these Marvel shows would be a great skill to learn to build the patience to watch a show back to back.
Latina Lantern, thank you.
Oh, spank you. $5. What a great name. Hold on, I'm going to put my Green Lantern ring on. Look at this.
I found another one today. Is it the blue one?
Oh, it's my green one.
Oh, it's the green one.
Where'd I lose my blue one at?
It was buried under the mountain of antique mall stuff that we needed to price.
Well, look at this. So, I want to continue. What were we even talking about? I'll continue in a second, but this is my Green Lantern rings. Well, it's Lantern Corps, so there's every color. And I started with about 20 of them. One of you guys sent them to me, and then I've lost them all. So I'm down to a green, 2 oranges, 2 purples, and a red. My yellow one actually flew out the car the other day while we were driving.
It did.
Because
that was
I'm
so sad.
Because I'm a dumb piece of shit.
Well,
That's why.
You like driving with the door open.
Well, I drive a bread truck. It's not like I just drive holding my door open.
That's true. I get anxiety if I leave the door open. I'm afraid something's gonna fall out, like my phone or my debit card or something. So I can't do it. And it's exciting though. You get to.
The real problem is that it's like a Jeep. Our bread truck's like a Jeep. You drive with the doors off. But I'd like to fiddle with these rings so they fall off. But that's an awesome name. What was I talking about?
We were at our friend's house the other night rewatching it.
I rewatch movies and films because I watch it once to enjoy it. I watch it the second time to study it because, like, you know, my background is creative writing, and I work on film projects and stuff. So writing is what I'm into. So I like diving into the story further. But you just get so much out of a film watching it back to back. So I think those Marvel TV shows would be a good one to do that. But yeah, watch it. We'll talk more about it next week. I'm not going to spoil it. I mean, I'm not even going to make talking about this stuff a regular part of this series. But at some point we'll have to talk about it, because like if I'm going to go live and talk to 300 of you guys, it's going to be hard not to talk about whatever we've just watched.
Well, Bloody Bones has a hot take. He says we need more Hulk content, which I completely agree.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how I feel about that, because there's a conversation we could have that would get a little bit, I don't want to say political, but Disney is just becoming this behemoth monopoly content owner, and currently, technically, Disney does and doesn't own the rights to a lot of Marvel characters. They're still literally splitting money with Sony to use Spider-Man in their properties. And, they only just reacquired Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four was under this same problem. Sony owned the license, or, someone else owned these licenses, and they were making crappy movies that were always failing. Now, of course, these Spider-Man movies are doing a lot better than the Andrew Garfield runs, because the Spider-Man is in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So, yes, we need more Hulk content, but we can't have it the way that we want it, because the licenses and the trademarks for them for the appearance of the Hulk on film are really complicated. So it's really going to have to, it's only going to happen if Disney just goes, all right, here's $1 billion, please give it back. You know what I mean? And even then, it's really difficult to know whether or not they'd want to give it back. Marvel Cinematic Universe only got Fantastic Four back because the people making that last Fantastic Four movie screwed up so bad, and there's a timing issue. Their contract says you have to make X number of movies in X number of years, or at that point you have to give up the license. And they did, and some stuff went wrong, and they've got it back.
Jesus E says that a She-Hulk show is already in the works.
Yes, that's one of the other Marvel ones, which is really interesting. If you ever read a comic book, and the comic book character is in trouble in the Marvel universe, and a lawyer shows up, it's one of two people. Do you know who they are?
No.
She-Hulk or Daredevil.
Oh, okay. Well, I was going to guess She-Hulk because we were on the topic.
Yeah, so she's a lawyer. So that show is going to be some sort of lawyery show. But how it goes in the comic books, she pretty much stays She-Hulk. Kind of unlike, it's Matt Murdock showing up in the courtroom, right?
Yeah. I liked the Matt Murdock, the TV show Daredevil a lot.
That's another one where those there's another weird license thing going on because Marvel owns the license for Daredevil and most of those other characters. Netflix is basically going to own the intellectual property of the footage and happenings in those Marvel shows. However, there's nothing really stopping them from bringing those actors to play the same Marvel characters on their movies. So there's a lot of talk about those actors from those Netflix Marvel shows being in the now Marvel Cinematic Universe. Matter of fact, there's huge rumors about him showing, just Matt Murdock, that actor showing up in the new Spider-Man movie. Spoilers. I don't know if you tuned in here to hear Marvel spoilers, but there's a couple for you.
Occam's electric toothbrush.
What a great name!
That's a good name. Make a Hulk movie where it's just Hulk versus Moon Men. Do you know what the Moon Men are? I don't know what that is.
Well, I know the superhero, there's a Moon Man superhero, but that may not be referring to the same thing. Listen, there is a lot. I think there's probably a lot of people at Marvel under the Disney umbrella very frustrated about the whole Hulk thing because there is a lot of great Hulk story arcs, right? World War Hulk being a good one, which they kind of already, in a weird way, tapped because that whole thing you saw in Thor Love and Thunder, with Hulk being on this world and fighting things, that was kind of the idea of that was pulled from World War Hulk. But that's why, if you didn't know what I just said about the licensing for Hulk being owned by a different company, that's why you keep seeing Hulk pop up in other movies instead of having his own, because they just can't. They legally can't do it.
It's such a shame. I mean, they made the one Hulk movie. Was that a different network or something?
It was Sony. It was
Sony. Okay.
It was prior to all this being as complicated as it is. I mean, they were. And listen, I don't know I don't remember off the top of my head the full Hulk story, because I think Tony Stark might have actually showed up at the end of that Hulk movie. So it was still done in a way where that was going to be allowed to be a part of the Marvel Universe, but it's all complicated nonsense.
We're getting a little controversial over here in the chit chat about the Fantastic Four.
What about it?
Harry Potter Freak said that they should have left the Fantastic Four alone, and there's a little.
How does she mean that?
That's a good question.
They should have left it I shouldn't be hating on it, or they just shouldn't have made the Fantastic Four movies?
Well, wasn't there kind of nods to Fantastic Four in the WandaVision and all that stuff?
So that's complicated. Not really, not officially. There was a lot of speculation that what is her name? The Rambeau character, Proton. She mentioned that she knew a specialist or something, and people are like, "Oh, she's talking about Reed Richards." But see, I don't know. People that are my age might have fond memories of the original Fantastic Four run. I don't remember how it did at the box office, but Chris Evans, who now plays Captain America, he played Johnny Storm, Human Torch in those old movies. I have fond memories of them because I was like, 10, and that was really, really early superhero movies. That might have been the first ones after the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, or it was right around then. But what happened though is they were going to lose their license. Sony was going to lose their license whenever Fantastic Four came back around. I've been hesitating every time I talk about this because I feel for a second like it might not have been Sony, because there was a couple different people owning rights. But they only made the movie and didn't care if it was bad, because if they didn't make it, they were going to have to just literally hand the rights to making those movies back to Marvel, which is, of course, is what Marvel wanted. And
Yeah.
what a lot of us want. But what else is controversial? Somebody mad at me?
She's specifying that they shouldn't have remade it. The first one was good.
No, I think everyone agrees, but I'm just trying to point out they only did it because if they didn't do it the exact moment they did, if it didn't come out in that month it came out, they literally, by their legal contract, had to give the rights back to Marvel.
And Sunblade Dragon says, sorry, but neither of the Fantastic Four movies were good.
Yeah, I bet if I'd said, so that last one, we'll see, hold on a second. That last one's another example of what we talked about earlier in this live show. The director originally of that film, his name was Joshua Trank. And I remember at the time this being really important to me because at that time, my biggest dream, way more, this YouTube was not even a little idea we had yet. So this was several years ago. But I was out directing, shooting films. That was my only passion in life. I would put everything, every dime, every ounce of passion I had into making films. And we were living in LA, and I was really trying to do that there. And this was a big news story at the time. The director of that Fantastic Four movie, he had, prior to Fantastic Four, directed kind of an indie superhero film. And of course, Marvel and Sony and all these people, their technique for getting these movies made for a long time now have been bring in indie directors.
Okay.
And you can go look at some of the directors for all these other Marvel films, you'll see this. And it all went wrong, and he got fired. And then it all came out in the news, and the studio tried to trash him, but there was a lot of public people that were on his side and said there wasn't really a problem. A lot of weird stuff happened, and they ended up releasing a movie that was nothing like what he wrote and signed a contract to make. So very similar to what happened to Zack Snyder with Justice League happened in this. But what ends up happening is the studio gets its way and a crappy movie is made. This is a tale as old as Hollywood. If you don't know anything about movies, trust me, every third movie you've ever seen has just been crapped on by the studio. This is what happens.
Well, it makes it really interesting that Zack Snyder did finally get his cut then. Like, this
exactly.
is kind of unprecedented.
It's entirely unprecedented. I shouldn't say entirely because I'm sure there's some other instances. Well, another good example, I'm sure there's a lot of people, comment below if this is the case, that might like Blade Runner. Blade Runner is a great film, but it's really hard to tell somebody who hasn't ever seen it how to watch it. Because there is probably, let me think, 5, 6 different cuts of the film. There's the cut as the director originally intended. There's the first cut that hit theaters. There's different remasters. And strangely, this is a really great film writing exercise, anything film related. If you want to learn more about it, go buy the big box set of Blade Runner and watch all the cuts back to back and see how wildly different that film can be depending on who cut it together. There's one with voiceover, there's one without voiceover. So I think the original story there was something along the line of the first cut to hit theaters wasn't what Ridley Scott wanted. And then later he got what he wanted with it's stuff like this. So there's also, I don't think the legend has it with that newest Fantastic Four movie that there was ever a cut somewhere else on a hard drive that was better. However, a lot of people agreed when that movie first came out that there were some high points in it that looked like this guy's previous films that were to be appreciated. However, there was so much in the movie that was clearly just like CGI garbage to fill in time.
Oh.
So there's a theory that the movie he was about to make was actually going to be good. The studio crapped on it, and we got that terrible film.
Ain't that just the way?
What do we got?
Latino Lantern, thank you so much. Will you streamline your collection or continue to amass? Don't turn into the old lady from Dark Crystals. Love your channel. I think we will answer that question in a little bit because...
Oh, we can answer now. I'm pretty much done with the Marvel Cinematic.
There was a question that I thought would be very interesting to chat about that's related.
Well, I will forget what I'm talking about. So let's go ahead and finish the conversation with what you want to talk about, but remind me to answer that question here in a second.
Is there a... what Marvel characters would you all like to see in a Disney Plus TV show?
I thought they were going to ask me what Marvel character I wanted to be.
Oh, we can answer that too.
That's all my brother and I talked about as a kid. He always said Magneto. He always said Flash. I always said Magneto.
Ooh, okay.
Right? Who else Marvel-wise would I like to see? I mean, honestly, I think anyone I could think of off the top of my head, they're already working on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I have one that I would like to see.
Who? I'm kind of...
Rocket. The
Oh, just you want him to.
I want a show of him, like his origin story, or like him getting into nefarious things with Groot. Like that would be a great show.
Yeah, no, I can definitely see that. Gosh, I don't know if I have an easy answer because Daredevil is my favorite Marvel comic book character. My favorite villains are Doom and Kingpin. Kingpin's already kind of showed up in the Netflix one, and maybe he'll come back. I really like that actor Vincent D'Onofrio. I hope I pronounced that right. I couldn't pull it right off the top of my head. Let me try to think of another one.
Well, Latino Lantern says Gambit.
Gambit, yes, that would be a good one. You know, I'm hoping the X-Men get pulled into it. I guess because after the superheroes I just named, my next favorite ones are really just X-Men. I read a lot of X-Men growing up. That being said, I did see some news report that I will be completely open. Don't quote me on this because I didn't verify it. I didn't click on it. I didn't even read it. But it was talking about the blonde guy, the Homelander from The Boys, Amazon TV show about superheroes, is going to play Wolverine.
Really? He'd be good.
I don't know if it's true or not.
I like that actor a lot. I think he's cool.
I'm here for that, and I think that would be cool. Oh, wait, there was one, though. I read one of those imaginary castings thing that suggested another actor for a superhero, and I thought it was the funniest, greatest thing I ever heard, but I can't remember it now. Maybe it'll come back to me. Do we have anything else?
Iceman was another suggestion.
Iceman's good. He was playing. I'm not gonna remember that actor's name, but there's these two actors. They're twins, and half of you probably think they're the same person that you've seen in a bunch of movies, but there's two of them, and they do separate movies all the time. But that guy played Iceman in the X-Men movies, opposite. Way back. I mean, it was way back, and that was cool. That'd be another good one to come back.
Doom is another suggestion. People are
that's definitely. I want a good Doom because, like, I personally, my now favorite live action portrayal of a villain is D'Onofrio playing Kingpin. That was so great. So if we could get someone to nail Doom, that would be good too. Obviously, it's gonna be hard to nail because every iteration of Doom is always, Man in the Iron Mask.
Right.
Going on.
I mean, I'd love to see the costuming for it. That'd be great.
Yeah,
maybe
well,
a sick costume.
They haven't done a good job yet. That's pretty much all there is to it. But yeah, I don't know. Let me just pick one character. Let me pick one Marvel character who I'd like to see that hasn't shown up
While you
yet.
think about it, I'm excited. Taylor, thank you so much for the dono, but I'm so glad you commented. She was the one who sent us the cannon. She said, "Hi guys, I sent the cannon. Vinny can't wait to see you guys use it. I'm going to show him tomorrow. I'm glad you guys still have it. Have that and the pic that he drew. We do still have the picture he drew. It's on our fridge."
Yes, it's still there. We've got quite the growing collection of pictures on our fridge. All right, I got to pick one. I'm just going to go with, I feel like everything I come up with is just like X-Men related, so it doesn't sound that fancy. Like, if someone could show up in Falcon and Winter Soldier tomorrow, anybody I wanted, I'd say Magneto. I'm just going to go with that.
Yeah, it would be really interesting.
One of my all-time favorite characters.
Oh, I have a question. What's your favorite Corningware, Corel, or Pyrex pattern? Ooh, okay. My favorite Pyrex pattern is the hot air balloon. I have never found it, and the day that I do, I'm gonna just lose my mind. And as Dallas would say, I'll take my clothes off.
Just get naked.
Just get naked.
Well, I guess we're gonna get into the Q&A portion of this. We've talked all I can think of to talk about the Marvel stuff.
Someone brought up a question to explain fully and more deeply about the Discord. So someone was wondering where you go to get the link for it, which below every single one of our videos is a drop-down menu.
Okay. I'm happy to say that the age demographic and the age demographic that watches this channel, as well as the ratio of male to female that watches our channel, I'm really happy about, because it started off really narrow, really just right around our age and only male.
Yeah.
And when we made videos for several months before Hannah ever showed up in a video, and after that we've expanded to about 60% male, 40% female, which is good. And then we also went from, like 25 to 30 all the way out to, 18 to like 65 plus, which is really cool. So that being said, I bet there's a lot of people that didn't grow up with computers like I did. I had a computer in my classroom in kindergarten. You definitely did because you were 3-4 years behind me.
Well, there was one in our classroom, but we had a separate computer room that we went to in kindergarten.
Well, my brothers who are just 3 or 4 years older than me that went through the same school system did not have that. So that being said, there's probably plenty of people watching that there's a lot of buttons on this computer you don't know about. But if you ever hear a YouTuber talking about anything that you realize you should be able to have access to, like they're saying, click on this, do this. Every YouTube video has a little down button. On mine that I'm looking at right now, I guess technically it would be, let's see, it would be this side. Down here, there's going to be a little down arrow that goes down, and there's stuff that I type below every single video. So if I discuss something in a specific video about something specific, it's going to be down there. And then the general things, hey, do this, check this out, all that stuff, the Discord, it's always down there. So if you go down there, find the line that says Discord, and you click on that, it's going to ask you if you want to join the Discord. It gets a little complicated for those of you who may not be too tech savvy, because there's a phone app. You can do this on your computer. There's a couple different ways you can access it. You can just access it on a web browser. A lot of people tell me they sneak on at work, just going to discord.com. So basically, when you click that link, there's going to be a prompt that asks you if you want to go to the app or if you want to open it on your browser. And once you do that, you're just going to have to sign up like any other chat service, Zoom, that kind of thing, and it's going to make you make a username, and then it's going to put you in our server. And over on our server, there's a bunch of tabs, and on each of those tabs, you can chat about various different things. One of the most popular tabs, of course, is just show me what you got. So you go thrifting, come post pictures of what you found, and that's really most of it.
I personally like the your pets section.
There's a pets tab. I've already discussed. This is probably why you brought it up. I've already brought up how you can. I'm drawing a blank. What I already talked about, the movies. You can go look at. You can just share what you're watching and see if anyone else is watching it, because there's a lot of current stuff that can be posted. A lot of people, they'll show pictures of whatever they've been watching on VHS or something like that. So that was a great question.
Yeah.
I know it's difficult. People have trouble finding it all the time, so I have to share the link a lot. But please, if you're watching and you haven't joined yet, go check it out. Or if you haven't been back in a while, here's an honest telling of how the Discord works. People find our channel, they can't get enough, they watch every day, they watch 2 or 3 of our videos every day, which really warms my heart. Right now, you ladies, you might be here, comment below. There's 2 different ladies, 2 different names that for about a week now, I can tell they're watching our videos in linear order, because I see every comment that ever gets posted on our page, because we're not that big, right? Like, we're 10,000 subs, there's 200 people watching this right now, and you guys watching are likely the people that leave the comments, you know. So what happens just all the time is people start with our old catalog, come all the way up, and they comment the whole time. So there's these 2 ladies that have just been commenting constantly. I just keep seeing their names, and they're just like, ooh, that was a nice find, and they're progressively, day by day, getting towards our newest videos. And that being said, the whole time that we've been making videos, we've had this Discord, and we've been telling people to come check it out. So what will happen is people will get really obsessed like that, and it's great, and they'll come join the Discord. And then at some point, people will be on the Discord for like 3 or 4 months, and they'll kind of stop posting daily. And this is, I know this trend all the time, and that's fine. This is not a complaint, because why would you want to look at me every day and talk to me every day? It's absurd. But I kind of also enjoy it for that, because while people are the most interested in what we're doing, we also get to chat with them about what they're doing. So that being said, if you're watching and you haven't been on the Discord in a little while, come on over, show me a picture of what you got, and then leave for a few more months. It's fine. There's no hard feelings. What else we got?
So there is, I mean, it's 10,000 subs, so we can get into some more of the nitty-gritty about our channel.
Well, that was a really good question, because there's a lot of people watching probably that just can't quite figure it out.
Okay, this is something we get a lot. Someone made a comment that I should get more camera time. This is a topic that you and I talk about a lot.
Well, you should say you talk about it.
I do. I talk about it a lot. I am, as you can tell right now, not the most articulate. So those little snappy intros of like, all right, guys, we're gonna go into the thrift store here. We're gonna look at some stuff, and it would be very awkward. You don't want to hear me do that.
Right. So you're saying, right, because it definitely looks like I get more camera time because I'm the one talking on the way up to the thrift store.
Yes.
I usually start out the wrap-ups talking about the general theme of the day.
You are very good at public speaking.
Right.
And I bumble a lot.
Right. Well, it's there's another layer to it in that I'm editing the videos.
True.
So
Yes.
in a lot of ways, in order for you to get quote unquote more screen time, it would take you having more control over the day-to-day narrative and direction of every
Yes.
single individual video. Listen, you've gotten way better at talking since we started doing this.
I have.
In a million ways. So I think you're selling yourself short a little bit. I think you're good enough to do that now. But I think the skill set that you actually lack is that kind of control over a day-to-day video narrative kind of thing. That kind of thing would make you shake in your boots.
It would. Well, especially because since you are the one editing the video, like trying to translate my vision to you could make our evening a lot more complicated than it is as well. And when you already do such a good job of it,
Right.
it doesn't seem super necessary.
Yeah. And I mean, one of these days, it's very likely Hannah will have her own channel, and you're going to get the dose of Hannah that you want. And I'm sure whoever made that comment didn't mean that in any malice. They just want to see
No.
more of you. However, there are a lot of people that just constantly, and again, a product of having a relatively small channel is that people seem to think there's a higher level of anonymity. Not in that I know who they are, but in that I would recognize their comments. And if you commented more than once on our videos, I recognize your username. That doesn't take any special amount of memory. It's just the fact that the people that comment daily or regularly, it's only a few hundred people. That's just how these numbers work. If I ask 1,000 people to do something, I'm lucky to get 100 of them, 10% to do anything. So 10% of those people commenting on this is just how it works. This is the number game of YouTube. So we do get these constant comments that are almost more suggestively negative that you're a camera hog, Tendo. Hey, why don't you let Hannah talk? Well, yeah, that goes on and on. And I'm always fascinated by those people because usually the way they word these things, they don't realize how they're the ones taking away your power, and that's a dumb way to put it. But Hannah talks when she wants to, and if you think I have any control over when she does or doesn't, you're a crazy person. But
I'm an independent woman.
but yeah, do you have anything else to say about it?
I mean, no. I feel like
You're put on the spot now, aren't you?
well, I just want to make sure that we've kind of covered it, and I think we have. There isn't anything I feel like I'm lacking in the channel. And you did mention like eventually I will have my own channel, and you'll get enough of me, I promise.
But that's all difficult conversations to have because like I mean a lot of you will comment things that you're like, how do you do it? How do you post a video every day? And some of you I dare say glorify us a little bit too much. I mean it is hard work, but it is this is going to sound really dumb, but it is exactly how much work it is. And now because we've done this for 700 days in a row, we know how much work it is. So that being said, like, we have conversations all the time about how could we change this that we're doing in this way? And do you want to do more at this point? We've had constant conversations, and with Hannah helming our clothing reselling business, Hannah doesn't need more YouTube to do right now.
I do have a lot on my plate at the moment. I mean, eventually we'll figure it out to be able to balance everything with a new YouTube channel and everything.
Yeah.
And that'll be great, but it's something that down the road.
Well, here's a good time to add this too. There's a reoccurring thing where I don't care when people say bad stuff about me in our comments. If you're ever gonna start a YouTube channel, people are gonna say everything about you, your looks, the way you talk, you name it. But like, there's a really funny way in which people criticize what we do and don't realize they're actually directly criticizing her. So like, this channel's name's TENDO, and it's got my face on it. And a lot of people just think, again, camera hog, but this is a decision we made together, and it was pretty much Hannah's idea. Her being the one that has taken PR classes and she's educated in these things and has the degree. I don't have the degree. It was more, according to her, we basically needed a mascot, me. That's the wrong word. What's the word? A face,
like a character.
Yeah, if you're calling me a character, we need people to be able to go, oh, have you seen Tendo? Just go search Tendo. Not Tendo and Hannah, not this, not that. so there's branding in just keeping it this way.
Exactly, yes.
And she's to thank for it. So get off my back.
Get off his back. It's not a bad thing.
What else we got?
I think Jamie summed it up perfectly. She said, I always assumed Hannah was involved in the way she wanted to be.
Yeah, well,
That
thank
is
you.
correct.
I mean, most do. I should add.
Yeah.
Most do. We're having this conversation for the 3% of you who don't get it.
And honestly, I mean, everybody in the chat tonight has been super positive about the topic that we're on right now. It's really just a clearing the air of like, this is the way we've decided to do it. I'm completely happy with it. You're completely happy with it. And I think it works for us.
Well,
you guys seem to like it.
Well, I think it's important to bring up the specific thing that makes it important to me is that those people who've decided otherwise don't realize how much they're taking away from you specifically.
Yeah.
Which is ironic when you consider they think they're defending you, but they're not. I don't think I made that point well, but that's as concise as I can put it. What else we got?
I don't know.
Too much?
Well, I'm debating on whether or not to bring this up. We are already on like kind of controversial topics a little bit. There's been a lot of talk of marriage.
Oh, did that come up today?
A little bit, and I don't know if we want to get into it super deep.
I don't know. Well, let's move on to the next thing. You guys let us know if you want us to talk about marriage or not, because we're fine to.
Yeah.
But if this is getting too boring and it's time to shoot me in the face with a cannon, we can also do that. But I'm never uncomfortable talking about it. It's just that topic is a lot like that topic that we just talked about. It's not as people simplify it, and it's immensely complex.
Someone asked the person.
I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt. Do you want some more of this? I've almost drank it all.
Yes.
You can have the rest. See, look, I'm not that stingy. Okay, I am. I drank all of it.
You drank a lot. I don't need that much. I honestly started today going, I'm not drinking anything but water today. I'm making a vow, and I broke that vow.
I messed you up because I didn't tell her we were doing this. We went to the grocery store and got it. You got to celebrate happy birthday 10,000 subs. By the way, they didn't make a sign that said 10,000 subs.
They don't.
It's just happy birthday is what you get.
But also someone sent it to us and we love it.
Yeah,
so.
It's going to get its use before we do anything else with it. What else we got?
Someone asked if you can do the floss stance for 10K. Can you do the floss stance?
No, I can't. I'm not that coordinated. See, listen, I played a lot of Fortnite when it came out with my brothers. It was fun. But all the dances, the reason I've never in my life can be good at dances is because there's too many steps, right? Because when you floss, there's like a swinging.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
You got to get it going. And then once you're in the rhythm, it's just like,
it's like jump rope.
Easy,
it's like jump rope. You gotta find it and get in.
Exactly.
That's the best you're gonna get out of me. Somebody clip it. Put it on Instagram.
I'm sorry your comment got buried, but yes, we do still have the baby shark bottled in the jar.
Yeah, it's right here. It's on my shark shelf.
Like it's on there somewhere.
It's on my shark shelf.
For those of you who missed it, we have a pickled baby shark.
Oh, that's the wrong button. Hello. I don't think I've ever given a really good close of it on camera, but there you go. That's what it looks like. Somebody sent that to us in the mail. I mean, someone sent me these rings that I was talking about earlier. Someone sent the happy birthday sign. We try to put it all to use or put it all on display because, it helps. This live show is 100% funnier if you watched Mail Time today. Yeah. And then you come and there's the happy birthday sign. It works out well.
A lot of people are very much digging your Boomhauer pin.
Oh my gosh. Oh, you know what? Let me use this camera to show it off. This will be way better. Oh, baby, look at it. It's not a great picture. I know he's all upside down and stuff. Boomhauer, listen to me when I say this. Boomhauer the banjo. I bought it yesterday. You'll actually see me buy it on tomorrow's episode.
It's a good episode. You should definitely watch it.
Oh, it's also an hour, so
Ooh.
I'm sorry we're taking up your time now, but please watch it tomorrow as well. It's gonna be a lot more time.
It's gonna be great.
I bought it on tomorrow's episode, and it was worth every penny. I overspent, but it was worth it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Bruce Hans, I'm so glad you asked this question. He said, my wife said she wants, your wife is a wonderful woman. Tell her. My wife said she wants to hear either marriage or the rubber duck origin story.
Oh,
Are
man.
you ready for this?
Well, which one? Marriage or?
The rubber duck origin story, for sure.
Oh, so should I tell the whole story?
I mean, yeah, go for it.
Okay, the rubber ducks. I guess what you're asking is why I have so many rubber ducks. Can you see any on that shot? I guess the ones that show up the most are probably the ones behind you here. Brown duck and blue duck. And just standing here, I can spin around in my spot and see, well, a shelf full of about 100 ducks. Then the real important one is over here. This is Howard, and I'll tell the medium story, okay? Because we haven't lost any viewers yet. If the viewership tanks when I tell the duck story, then maybe I'll change subject. But
Ooh, people are excited about the rubber.
people
duck
are
story.
excited about the rubber duck
Yes.
story. Good. It's a good story, I think. It's a bit defining, I think, in my story arc, if you will.
I think it is. It's shaped who you are quite a bit.
Here's the simple story. Here's where it started. I was 15 years old and I joined a band, a metal band, in my hometown, in my neck of the woods. And some of you guys feel free to comment below if your hometown, home area had this kind of thing. But the music scene at that time was one of two things. It was bar bands, or that was for older people, and for the youth, it was just metal. So I was in this band that was trying to do this more melodic, still kind of screamy emo thing. Kind of like A Day to Remember, if anybody knows. We were trying to do that kind of thing. And we were going to play our first show, which I was playing the keyboard in. I later played the bass in this band, and later went on to be in lots of other bands where I did more singing and, guitaring.
Mind you, you had the emo hair.
Oh, I wish I could drop a clip into this. Subscribe to the Clips channel that I mentioned below so that tomorrow when I post a clip of this, me telling the story, you'll see me in some clips that I'm going to add to it with the emo hair. But basically what happened is my girlfriend was driving me to the show. She was super excited. At that time, really only dated me because I was in a band. She thought it was bad A. That's really how this worked when we were kids.
I need to pause you for a second.
Yep.
Cat Mom Kelly, thank you so much for your generous donation. Can't thank you both enough for making daily videos, sharing your lives, spreading positivity, and taking us along for the ride. This channel has been a light for me during this dark period of COVID. Thank you, thank you. No, thank you, Cat Mom Kelly, for
That's
being a part of the channel.
That's dinner tomorrow and 2 more of these. So what happened was my girlfriend dating me at the time, probably only because I was in a band. Matter of fact, she ended up telling a friend of mine that. And this is funny at this point.
Rip.
Because I was 15 at the time. So of course it worked that way. But we went to Walmart to get some snacks for the road because the concert was 1.5 miles away. And I was broke. She just got her first job. I was 15, she was 16, so she had just started working. Was getting paychecks. We felt rich. We were able to eat Mexican food like once a week.
Oh.
We felt high on life just because she had a job. And I was just itching to turn 16 so I could get a job. But we're at Walmart in my hometown to get snacks for this long drive. And I'm walking through an aisle. It wasn't even a toy aisle. It was something else in the other part of the store. And here sits this duck. This one. And I know it's this one. I have a couple that would look identical to the naked eye, but I know it's this one because he's rotting. Because I've had him and put him through so
Got
much.
a crack under his chin.
He's dry rotting.
That broke because we threw him in the ocean in California one time.
Yes, we were in this secluded beach all by ourselves, and I was like, "Get a shot of this, Hannah," and I yeeted it into the ocean. But I was walking through, and I picked it up, and I looked at it, and it had $15 on it. So again, at the time, 15 years old, no money to my name, $15 sounded like $100.
Yeah.
And I looked at her. I looked at my girlfriend Tara, and I said, "Tara, I have to have this. You don't understand." And of course, she's pretty hard nosed about these kind of things. Not into spending money too much. And I was like, "No." I was like, "Let me borrow the money, please. I'll do anything." And she just couldn't understand. And she's like, "What are you gonna do with it?" I was like, "Hannah, it's my first show. I'm gonna put it on top of my amp." And sure enough, I thought I was bad A. I was playing a keyboard through like an amp, and so sure enough, she's like, "Okay, whatever." She was mad at me that I made her spend the money, but she bought it for me. And that night, I put this on top of our speakers, and I played that first show with it. And I think that was the only show I played on keyboard. And I ended up being a bass player in that band forever more. And then, as I said, I was in other bands myself, lead singer, you name it, I did it all. And every show I've ever played, and this was even up until I played music at a church a bunch. Every time I've ever played a musical instrument, this duck has sat on top of my amp. And it got so bad at the point that in my hometown specifically, I'll still go home today and some random chick who you can tell was definitely an emo chick 10 years ago will be like, "Hey, are you that dude with the duck on your amp?"
You're the duck guy?
Oh, my hometown, those people don't know my name. They remember the duck. That's the moral of the story. So that's pretty much how it happened. Now, why there's so many other ducks here is that I bought that duck. I bought the brown and blue one that I showed you. This is our change duck. All of our spare change goes in there.
I mean, it's appropriately named.
Yeah,
It's got
and
spare change in it. It's changed up.
there's a few other objects around this house that I've bought like that. However, even back then, all of my friends for my birthday, no matter what they ever bought me, there would always be a rubber duck included in that. So I have every duck that anyone else has ever given me, including you guys. I think you guys alone have doubled. I probably had 250 ducks, and I probably have 500 now because you guys have about doubled them in the 2 years of doing this.
It's an intense amount of ducks, not gonna lie to you.
And the story really kind of continues because when we started this channel, I kid you not, I was, what we were doing, well, we started a Facebook page first for live streaming, and I was like, I'm gonna go with something TENDO. And I was like, but we need a mascot. And I wanted to do duck, but duck TENDO sounded terrible. And we went to Walmart, and there were these foam Halloween heads, shark heads. You've probably seen them. You've probably seen them on our channel. There was a shark one, and I looked at him and I said, Shark TENDO. We're gonna build a costume out of this. Our YouTube channel is gonna be Shark TENDO. And then I always regretted it because look at these yellow shelves and all the ducks. Duck imagery would be better for this channel. So, long story short, I ended up naming our second channel where we play games and do other stuff, which you can also find in the description below. I ended up naming that channel Rubber Duck Yellow because why would I not do that? And I think that's most of the story. That's how my existence became forever tied to ducks. What are they saying?
Well, they're enjoying this story. A lot of people were just listening. When are you going to write a rock song about a rubber duck?
Well, I no joke thought about writing a Furby song for today's episode because I'm not stuck on Furbies forever. I'm going to collect them forever, but our intros have been Furbies. What I used to do a year ago on this channel was every month I changed my intro theme, and so I've gotten back to that. So for the rest of March, it's going to be Furbies. So maybe next week's episode, or maybe the last episode in March, I'll do a little Furby song. But speaking of which, I'd love to do some music on these live shows in between storytelling. But I need some local musicians to come hang out with me. So if that's you, comment below, message me on Instagram, come hang out. Let's do some music.
Style of the World, Holy Cannoli.
Holy cannoli.
Thank you so much for the $50 donation.
Wow.
Said, here's a fourth of tank of gas in the bread truck. Thank you. You are accurate.
No idea. Oh, well, you know what? Spoiler alert. We're trying to buy a new car. You don't want me to tell him? I'm not going to tell him everything. We're trying to fix our gas mileage problem. Listen, bread truck's going nowhere.
Well, let me finish this.
Oh, it's not even over. Okay,
No.
sorry. I'm sorry. I'll just shoot myself in the face with this kid.
He said, I've had some rough anxiety and I lived through your travel vlogs and I love the energy you guys bring every day. Seriously, thank you guys for all that you do. From someone who has rough anxiety as well, I get it. And I'm so glad that you enjoy the travel vlogs. It's some of our favorite ones to do as well.
And mind you, we both suffer from our own levels of anxiety. And I don't know that that's something we need to get onto in this specific episode, but I will say for both of us, those travel vlogs are for sure something that helps alleviate our stresses and anxieties the most. So thank you so much for, thanks for the money, but way more so, thanks for saying that, because
it is so nice to know like what you guys enjoy. I mean, the travel vlogs are probably the most exciting for everyone because it's like going to different thrift stores in different areas of the country. Like that's always super cool.
Yeah, for sure.
It's cool to know what you guys are like really into. If you like Ben's videos, if you like the collecting stuff, if you because we do a lot.
For sure. What were they saying about the duck story? Have any of you watching heard that story? I told it on an old episode a long time ago, but I'm glad someone asked this time because we'll drop a clip of this on our clips channel and I'll kind of animate it with some proof of the ducks that I'm talking about.
There's some people who are really liking Duck Tendo.
I know, it's not bad now, but when we were starting this channel, you have to understand that when it came to starting this channel, I was quitting my job and Hannah was staying at her job and I was going to start this. And we knew it would take about a year to get going and to get to that 1,000 subs and all that stuff. Now, mind you, we're a year and a third in. We're not even to 2 years and we've hit 10,000. And that's a little faster than we thought, but we had an idea how long it was going to take. And but we were so obsessive, way more than you need to be if you ever want to start your own channel, about like branding and the looks, the yellow shelves, all this stuff, trying to put together something that was inherently us, visually, spiritually, you name it. And Duck Tendo, I guess I was just like, that sounds so dumb, but it should have been Duck Tendo. It should have.
It makes so much sense that all of our stuff is yellow, and we're like, shark.
Yeah.
Yellow.
Well, yeah. Well, a yellow shark was cool, and that was cool imagery for these shelves until Baby Shark came out.
Until Baby Shark ruined it.
And Baby Shark was yellow. That was so annoying when that happened, because now if I ever show anybody a yellow shark, they're like, Baby Shark! Baby Shark!
Baby Shark! I love the Baby Shark song. I'm not going to lie to you, but we don't have kids, so I feel like that would have changed if we did. We
Right.
got tired of it.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I agree. I made the wrong choice. I'm man enough to admit that. I know better now, but you know.
Well, now we're on the topic of from Duck Tendo onto names for the truck.
Oh, you know what? Just wait till we get our new car, and I'm not gonna say anything
People
else.
on here are telling me that they already know about the car. They said that we talked about it in the last live stream. Did we spoil it?
I probably did.
Oh no.
I have this problem where I talk a lot and have no idea what the hell I'm
This
saying.
is words coming out.
Did anybody say what it is?
No one said specifically what we're getting. They said they're saying I know about the car.
Well,
Oh, you
I'm
talked
not.
about the car
I'm not
last
gonna.
stream.
I'm not gonna address it further. It's stupid.
I don't
Look-
think it's stupid.
Oh, it's stupid. Look at my lips. I told your mom today. I was texting your mother, and she
God,
was
what did
saying
she say?
she was saying she was proud of us for our 10,000 subs, and I was like, oh, thank you, but.
thanks, Mom.
And then we were chatting, and I was like, oh, well, you know, sorry. I texted her back late because I'm a terrible. I've already said this once. I'm a piece of shit. But I was like, sorry for the late reply. We were buying video games with friends yesterday, and then today we were car shopping. And she's like, well, I'm so proud of you. She's being very nice. And I was like, well, don't be proud yet, because you're gonna be really mad when you see the car.
Oh my gosh.
It's really stupid. What?
So they're guessing car name. They're guessing what car it's gonna be. Stop guessing.
Has anybody
Stop
guessed
it. No.
Really?
No.
You're lying.
No.
I'm not going to say it. You guys go read the comments, whatever, but we're working on a car. But the bread truck's going nowhere. It's just we need something to drive around town. Because it is. We spend about $40 a day on gas. And it ends up being like,
Yes, it's
somebody do the math, $1,200 a month. And we're definitely going to buy something more fuel efficient. And but that's my answer to what are we naming the truck. I want to name them in a pair because we're going to kind of tow the car with the bread truck too, so it's like a tag team kind of thing. So then it needs to be like Bert and Ernie or Scoot and Tug. I don't know.
I feel like we're giving too much away.
It's fine. You can tow any. I've got like a 10,000-pound tow package. That doesn't give anything away.
We're gonna tow it at Ford F-350.
Exactly. Oh, I'm going to tow the bread truck with the
We're
Ford.
gonna tow a second bread truck and have a double wide trailer.
Yeah. I'm going to tow them butt to butt.
Okay. I feel like one of the best suggestions for the bread truck has been bread Zeppelin,
Bread-
and
that's
that is
good.
something that people keep
Well,
suggesting.
we've been back from our trip for so long. I don't remember what some of a lot of the better ones were like like it looks like a panda, so something trash panda was good. But like
Yeah.
whenever I ever told Hannah I was going out to our old van to get something, I'd always be like, I'm going out to Betsy. And that felt right. And any name we've talked about so far, and this is this is why we haven't had a name for our bread truck yet. Nothing feels that good.
Yeah.
Nothing. So I'm waiting for something to be like, you
Duck
know,
Mobile.
what?
Duck Mobile.
Now everybody's name suggestions are going to be something with ducks. Since I told the
Yeah.
story. That's pretty good. Wasn't there a question I was supposed to go back to, or did we address it? Someone made a dono early on,
Yes.
and I said I would come back to it.
It was about collecting. So
Oh, someone was asking quite a great question. Are we going to keep letting it expand? Are we going to become hoarders? This kind of
Right.
the connotation of the question, and it was a good one. And I'll be honest, and I said something about this on last stream. I can actually answer that one pretty simple. If money through YouTube, through what we're doing, allows one day, I'll be the biggest hoarder of this stuff on earth. But it will be in a curated way, in a way that fits into this channel. It won't be my home. No, like we're already at a limit in our home. That's why our Pokemon collection fits on half a shelf. Power Rangers collection fits on the other half. Yu-Gi-Oh collection here only fits on one. I meant bookcase. Pokemon's on half the bookcase. Yu-Gi-Oh's on one shelf, and we don't really allow ourselves to go past that. So for now, no, we're not gonna push this too far. But we would love to have the space one day to make more videos just about collecting and hoarding, like really cool ways to collect things. That's definitely in our future. So yes, but no. I'm glad I remember that because I didn't want to leave your question behind. What
I
else?
feel like we're eventually going to like turn the bread truck into a collecting mobile. Maybe like we'll just mount shelves in the bread truck.
Well, that's always the problem. I already started hanging up Furby in there, and I was like, "What are you doing, bro? Stop, stop it."
Someone just Riblets Gaming asked, "What's happening with all the stuffed animals?" So there's been a lot of questions tonight about the stuffed animals.
Has there really?
haul.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm not sure how much to give away.
Because
It-
there's impending things coming.
Yeah, no,
with
we're
it.
doing something with them this week. Some other things with them this week. That's all I'll
Someone
say
says your
about it.
mic is acting up.
My mic is. It might be.
might just be getting hot.
It's probably me turning around. It has a very short throw distance. It's not supposed to get more than like 10 feet away. So I bet it does if I turn this way. It probably starts acting up.
Sorry, someone just suggested for the bread truck, grateful bread.
Someone, I not to take your thunder, but someone suggested that earlier on too.
Did they? I love it.
It is good. Someone, I think the same person once said bread Zeppelin and grateful bread.
Yeah, it's so good.
Very
I love
clever.
it. You guys are so clever.
Very, very clever.
DeLorean.
That's funny.
Oh God, I love it. Okay.
Yeah, I naming it's important. And honestly, I know I put a lot of things off. It is in my nature to do that, but I want that to be a good one. So I'm just waiting until it feels right, baby. And I think once we get our car that it will be its tag team partner, it'll feel even better. What we got?
Ryan Ruff, thank you for the $10. Finding your channel was the best thing to come out of the pandemic. Out of all the random videos I watched, you guys are commenting too fast. I'm losing the comment. Out of all the random videos I watched this time last year while stuck at home, this channel has been the best of them all. That is so kind.
Yeah, thank you for saying so. Give me a follow-up comment. Keep the rest of your money. I'm not asking for more money when I say this, but did you find us while you were locked down? This has been an interesting thing. I guess I know there's not really a question in there, but it does make me think about this. Pandemic sucked in every way conceivable, but in a lot of ways gave us a really big boost doing what we're doing. A lot of people wanted to tune in. So I'll always be a little thankful for that in a weird way that's hard to explain. So that being said, thank you so much. What else?
Sorry, I'm rereading something. There's a typo in the middle of it, so it's a little tricky.
Yeah, well, sometimes you guys get on one and there's like 25 comments a second. I could just talk about Justice League some more.
I know, right? We could.
I've been thinking about it in the back of my head this whole time.
We need a flat screen TV in the truck.
Yeah, well, there's the other things we want to do to our truck are all now dependent on a battery system. So we've got, right now we're buying a car. We saved our antique mall money that we resell stuff in over the last month or so, and we're buying a car with that money, and then we'll save up some more, and either we're just going to keep saving for some trips, or we might immediately invest in a battery system. But the money we're spending on a car tomorrow is actually less than what the battery system that we want, the one we're planning on for our car, for our bread truck would take. So, yeah, there's a lot of electronic type stuff I'd love to have in our van, but there's just no need yet because we can't power any of it. But we're moving towards wrapping up the show now. So if you got any more questions, definitely drop them. But I do want to say again, thank you guys so much for celebrating 10,000 subs with us. I can't believe we're here. I don't know how to explain to you. I can explain to you how YouTube works in a lot of ways, but there's just certain ways in which you're never going to understand unless you're doing something like we're doing day to day. And it's pretty tough to explain how untangible 10,000 subs seemed. We all have goals in life. We all want to do certain things, and a lot of us get it. A lot of you guys are watching and wanted to quit your jobs to do reselling and stuff like that, and that's cool. But I think the only goal that's ever seemed unattainable thus far in my life that I actually attained, and not only attained, but just snatched it out of the sky on my own accord, was this YouTube journey we're on. So thanks for being here for it. And I don't like to be one to give advice. I say this all the time. But I do want to tell all of you that are watching that if you've got something big that you want to do with your life, if my dumbass can start a YouTube channel and get to 10,000 subs, what are you doing? Because I am an idiot. I am a stupid piece of shit.
Hey now.
What?
You are not.
I don't, listen, don't butter me up. Don't start coming, oh, you're so smart. Shut up, okay? If I can pull this off, just keep working. I know you all have circumstances just like we did that were in the way of us doing this, but please, just take a little bit of inspiration from the fact that it's real, that if I can do this, you've got it. Just do it. What do we got?
Y'all are making me emotional here.
Oh,
Term
fuck
77, are you kidding me?
I'm just gonna end the stream here.
You always spread positivity, and some days that can't be easy. Thanks to the person that mentioned anxiety, as mental issues are hard to talk about. I also battle with it, and your videos are a great. Wait, where'd it go? No.
Top,
Okay,
up top.
there it goes. I also battle with it, and your videos really help ease the mind and are my go-to when I need to relax. Thank you both. Thank you so much for saying so. There's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, there is. Well, you know, I will say there is a weird bit of responsibility that I never expected to have maybe responsibility is not the right word, but what I'm trying to say is when we started doing this, we started with daily videos, and my strategy to get to this goal of 10,000 and beyond was daily posting, okay? But it was the key because I knew it was going to take that consistency to turn into something real. If you do this once a week for the rest of forever, well, that's good, but there's just something about doing something daily that will change your life. And the result of that, one of the results anyways, something that we learned along the way that we had no idea we were getting into, was that our daily posting was going to be appreciated in a way that I don't think we could have ever fathomed. Not necessarily just people with anxiety problems, though. Listen, you're not the only one in that boat. Again, I've said we, in our relationship and in our persons, have our own anxieties and struggles that we'll talk about one day. It's not a private thing, but I'm trying not to weigh down this conversation specifically with it. But it became clear as we did this, so many people think this just like you think this. And I said responsibility, added responsibility, because, you know, I feel in some way, you know, there is now responsibility on our daily videos to remain consistent. And of course, we have to work on doing this in a healthy way ourselves, as to not add, you know, more struggle to ourselves. But I'm learning a lot of lessons from you guys about exactly this, exactly the issues you raise, and I'm beyond thankful that, you know, we're able to make a living doing this right now, as well as still spread positivity, because you know YouTube's a pretty negative place, right? I don't have to I don't have to expound on that. So the fact that what you just said is continued to be reiterated as we get bigger and bigger, I hope it stays now. You know, I didn't understand this when we got in, that people, because of our daily posts, because of that repetition, because people would know that we'd be here, that added positivity would be added. I had no idea when we started that could ever happen. That this was not, I'm not, I told you guys I'm an idiot. It's not something I knew was coming. So thanks for saying that, both to reinforce something I've already known, but also thank you for sharing, because I know it's not always easy.
Oh my gosh, guys. I have to catch up on donos now. They're just
Stop.
going in so fast.
Listen, the first $10 was, every time you guys don't know, I'm like, pizza tomorrow,
Oh my
pizza
gosh.
tomorrow. You guys stop it. It's fine.
Norman,
We've already got our car money, okay?
Norman, Mallory, so glad you're watching the show. Bread truck name, Jack Green suggested bread truck name, the Tendonator.
I like it. I like the movie ones.
Bagley JW, I probably didn't say that right. Thank you for joining and being a member. Style Up the World, thanks for being a member.
Oh, did someone become a member while?
2 people.
Oh, thank you very much. Hey, if you're a member, you've got special emojis. So spam some Hannah. Spam some Hannah
Spam
emojis.
the Hannah Bob.
Thank you so much.
Jillian Sloan, we love you guys. Thanks for everything you do for your followers. If you come to upstate New York, please let us know. Hart, Jillian, and Rob, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
We would love to go to New York. Nothing's off limits. We'll
We'll
go anywhere.
you know, there's another added level of weirdness. We're small enough now. I'm not trying to get back into this other stuff we've already talked about, but we're small enough now that if people want to be our friends in person, you know, we've been diligent and kind of, you know, hanging out with some people that have found us through our channel a couple times, and that's all good and well. But obviously, we've had some bad experiences doing some meetups and stuff too, because things just don't always go the way you plan. But that being said, a lot of people say, hey, if you ever come here, we want to hang out and all that stuff. And, you know, there's definitely places that we need people to show us around. And I would say this, you know, New York would definitely be one, especially the city. So sometimes when we get offers like that, at some point we'll have to take some of you guys up on them. So thank you.
I know we're not necessarily taking questions at the moment, but this one is an interesting one. Mike F. asked, do you ever view your daily videos as one large art piece?
One large
Don't
art
think
piece.
anyone is doing what you guys are doing at the moment.
Well, so let me unpack this question.
Hannah Bob emojis! Yay!
Yeah, spam them. Spam the Hannah Bob emojis. Let me think. As one giant art piece. Did I when I started? No. Not at all. But I do have my version of thinking that way now that we're heavy into it. And a lot of it revolves around that question I was asked earlier about the balance here with hoarding and collecting. I kind of view the collection I'm building as a giant art piece because I one day want to display all this in a way that's not really museum-like, but just like wacky, wild world, Tendo's trash world, or just trash world. And in my head, that one day will be its own art piece that will also have. You know, this sounds weird because it sounds like I'm saying I want to be famous enough that my stuff is in a museum. That's not what I'm saying. I want to put on exhibits with this stuff in a weird way. You know, I've got a gumball machine back here full of dice and another gumball machine right here full of knockoff Beyblade. And I've got these ideas in my head for art pieces that are just gumball machines full of things and then a giant gumball machine full of gumballs full of things, right? Like, I want to do wacky stuff like that one day. When I start talking about that now, because we're 10,000 sub YouTube channel, we're not that big, I sound like a crazy person. So ask me that question again in 5 years. I hope I have an example rather than an answer for you. But thanks for that question.
I just got to the point in the chat where everybody was yelling at you for calling yourself a dumbass.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I was like, no, stop it.
Just skip those. I'm not looking for comments. I'm a dumb mother effer.
Oh my goodness. Shoot, where did the question go? But
Let's do 1 or 2 more questions and we're gonna wrap this up before somebody else gives us money.
no, right? There's just
I already gave my wrap up speech. But again, thank you guys. Again, I'll say what I said back at the beginning of the video. Definitely check out those links below. There's another channel to sub to where these clips will be reposted with extra content. And we really plan on making this live show something a lot bigger than it is right now in the near future. And so all of that, all of your support that you've already given, whether it be money or whether it be your attention and your sub, all that's kind of going towards us doing bigger, better videos with collecting and with selling and stuff like that. But also this live show is something we want to do once a week for the rest of forever. And in doing so, we want, like I already said, I kind of want to do some music, some cool stuff. Hannah's got a lot of cool talents that you guys don't even know about. There's lots of cool stuff we can do in this setting where it's not just me dressing up for no reason.
Buy low, sell high. Thank you for the $5 for video games.
That's exactly. Yep. That one's going to that 5 bangers for a video game. So all that being said, thank you for being here. Thank you for subbing. We're gonna get out of here.
Benjamin Hirsch, thank you for the $5.
Stop.
Stop.
We're gonna end this here, but I'm saying this to say we're gonna do it again next week. So we started out instantly from the beginning with 100 people in the first minute, and then we maintained almost 300 viewers this whole time. And I thank every one of you for being here and celebrating with this. I wish we could have shared the fizzy drink with you. Next time, bring your own drinks, BYO. And we'll see you next Sunday at 7 o'clock our time, which is roughly 10 o'clock Eastern. That's going to be the time frame. It seems to be working out for us. So we'll see you at that time next time. And in the meantime, what do you got?
Are we still going to do the canon?
Oh my God! I told you I was a stupid piece of shit. Is everybody raging?
Yeah, they're raging. They're like, wait, what? Wait, no, canon.
Well, you got me messed up. We started with, look.
Look at this.
Hold on, I see it. We went like this with Justice League, and then we went Duck, right? Duck Story's cool, but then we were like, you know what I mean? I lost, okay, here, take this. Here's what we're gonna do with the canon. We're gonna do this, and then we're gonna wrap up. Stand up.
Too late, more money.
Stop. Okay, listen. What we're going to do is I'm going to turn this on slow-mo, okay?
Oh my goodness.
And I'm going to put the face shield on. I would do this without the face shield, but I'm afraid that kids are watching and, monetization. I don't want to be a bad influence. So we're going to do it with a face shield. But I'm going to film you in slow-mo through the face shield.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So wait, how do we do this?
I don't know.
Should we... maybe I should get a little above you?
Maybe, yeah.
We're afraid if we turn it, it's not going to come out. Let's just do a slight angle, okay?
My heart's racing right now. I'm scared.
But I'm going to film this in slow-mo, And then the slow-mo clip, you're not going to be able to see it because I'm not going to be able to play it back for you on the show. But our clips channel, which you should go subscribe to, just TENDO Clips. Search that if you don't want to go click the link. The slow-mo clip will be there. Okay, how do we do this?
If it's a dud, it's not my fault. I'm sorry. I'm scared it's not going to work.
Okay, I know. You look at the arrow, which way to twist it.
This way.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, let's get closer to them. I don't want to mess this up. We only have one shot.
We've got one shot.
Come closer.
I feel like you
Come
should
closer.
Look down a little bit more. 3, 2. So hard to turn.
Oh, you're pointing it too high. Are you sure you're turning it the right way? Am I going to have to shoot myself in the face?
You might have to.
Happy 10,000 subs! It was so loud! I don't know if I can hear out of my left ear! I didn't need a face mask! I needed earplugs! Oh my god! No, it was just so loud. It's got it's a firecracker.
I think there's more in it still.
Oh, it all came out of there. There's enough force.
I'm crying.
Listen, I'm not kidding you. I am not kidding you. We did this kind of thing at 1,000 subs. It feels like 10 years ago. I'm still fine. We found a piece of the confetti from that in our bedroom.
We did.
Yesterday.
We shoot it in the bedroom.
No! Yesterday. So we'll be picking this up for the next 6 years. So thank you, Taylor, from New York, for ruining my life.
My heart's racing. I'm so sorry. Did you guys enjoy that?
Money shot. I hope the slow-mo's good.
Oh my gosh. Did someone give us more money? Jesus.
Oh, I don't know. Stop it. Thank you. Pizza and cat treats.
Oh my goodness.
Cat treats. I'm gonna watch here. I'm gonna do a live Tendo reacts to the slow-mo shot. Come look at this. I still want you to go sub to that channel, but we're gonna look. Actually, you know what? I'm afraid it's not gonna play in slow-mo. It's probably not. Playback speed. Yes, that's what I want. Slow-mo. And now we wanna. Because it took you like 10 minutes to actually.
It was actually really hard to turn.
We're gonna see this. Oh, I was so dumb. What is wrong with us? It's hard to see because I broke this GoPro.
Yeah. Rip.
Oh, now it's just 10 minutes of us laughing.
Did
All
we
right.
get it?
I don't know. You were struggling so hard.
I feel like it just all of a sudden went.
This is not gonna look good. You're just struggling so hard. Oh, then you pointed it at your face. All right.
God.
Well, subscribe to the other channel. I'll put the slow-mo clip on there. Listen, guys, you guys rock. Thanks for being here. We're going to actually end it here. Come back next Sunday, 10 p.m. Eastern time, and just come stop by. Even if you don't want to watch it, just come see what button I got, because I bought the best button ever for this one. I'm gonna try to top it next time. But thanks for hanging out with us, guys. Come back for tomorrow's video. Huge shopping spree to celebrate our 10,000 subs. It's going to be our last little bit of celebration. And then all of next week's videos are actually going to be really good, too, because we've got, we're going to hopefully buy a car. We've got some company to come hang out with us, too. So it's going to be some extra good videos. You know, our videos are always better when we have people hanging out with us. So until tomorrow, guys, peace out.